In the heart of the village, where sunlight filtered through the trees, Laura continued her journey, seeking understanding and connection. One day she came across Ivy, a writer known for documenting the personal stories of those living under the watchful gaze of the mysterious eye. Ivy sat beneath a sturdy oak tree, her notebook resting on her lap. When Laura approached, Ivy looked up with a warm smile. "Welcome. I've been waiting for someone like you. Come share your journey with me." Curious and eager to connect, Laura asked, "Have you ever thought about the watchful eye that seems to follow us? It observes our lives, but many people feel they can't speak about it." Ivy nodded thoughtfully. "Absolutely. The watchful gaze is always there, but many remain silent about their experiences. I try to give voice to those stories, to share what they feel but can't express." With a flick of her wrist, Ivy opened her notebook, revealing pages filled with stories. These are the dreams of those who feel lost, the hopes of those who struggle. Each narrative is important no matter how small. Laura listened closely, feeling inspired. "I want to share my journey too, to let my voice be heard and join the stories of others." Ivy smiled brightly. "Then let's write together. Every experience, every challenge, and every joy is part of a larger story. We can help each other find our voices." Under the shade of the oak tree, Laura and Ivy began to write. They captured the lives of those around them, documenting their struggles and triumphs. Laura realized that her journey was not just her own. It was intertwined with the stories of many others. As they wrote, the watchful eye transformed in Laura's mind. It was no longer just a source of pressure. It became a reminder of the connections they all shared. The gaze was there to observe, but it also encouraged them to grow and learn from one another. With Ivy by her side, Laura found her voice and embraced her journey. Together, they celebrated the lives of those around them, creating a tapestry of stories that reflected the beauty and complexity of life in their village. Their work continued, a testament to the power of sharing and understanding, as they inspired others to speak up and share their own experiences. Ivy smiled, sensing Laura's eagerness for another story. She flipped through her notebook, her fingers tracing the pages until she found a tale that resonated deeply. "Let me tell you about a woman named Clara," she began, her voice steady and inviting. The story of Clara. Clara was a spirited woman who lived in the village, known for her vibrant laughter and infectious energy. She had a knack for bringing people together, organizing gatherings that filled the air with joy and a sense of connection. But beneath her cheerful exterior, Clara carried a heavy burden, the weight of expectations. From a young age, Clara had been told that she was destined for greatness. Her parents, both accomplished musicians, dreamed of her following in their footsteps. They envisioned her performing on grand stages, captivating audiences with her talent. Clara loved music, but she also had a passion for painting, a dream that felt like a secret tucked away in her heart. As she grew older, the pressure to succeed in music intensified. Clara practiced tirelessly, pouring her soul into every note. Yet as she played, she often felt a sense of emptiness. The music was beautiful, but it wasn't her true calling. The watchful eye of her parents loomed large, always observing, always expecting. One day, while wandering through the village, Clara stumbled upon an art exhibition in the town square. Colorful paintings adorned the walls, each one telling a story. Clara felt a spark of inspiration ignite within her. She watched as people admired the artwork, their faces lighting up with joy. In that moment, she realized how much she longed to express herself through painting. That evening, Clara returned home, her heart racing with excitement. She picked up a brush and began to paint, pouring her emotions onto the canvas. The colors flowed freely, and for the first time in years she felt truly alive. But as she painted, the familiar weight of expectation crept back in. What will my parents think? She wondered, anxiety tightening around her heart. Days turned into weeks, and Clara found herself torn between her love for music and her newfound passion for painting. She continued to practice her instrument, but each note felt like a reminder of the path she was expected to follow. The watchful eye of her parents felt suffocating, and Clara struggled to find her voice. One afternoon, while painting in her garden, Clara was visited by an elderly neighbor named Mrs. Thompson. She was a wise woman with a gentle spirit, known for her insightful advice. "What are you working on, dear?" Mrs. Thompson asked, peering at the canvas. Clara hesitated, unsure of how to explain her conflicting passions. "I'm trying to paint, but I feel like I should be playing music instead. My parents want me to be a musician." Mrs. Thompson smiled knowingly. "Ah, my dear, the watchful eye can be a heavy burden. But remember, it's your life to live. You must follow your heart, not the expectations of others." Clara felt a wave of relief wash over her. "But what if I disappoint them?" "Disappointment is part of life," Mrs. Thompson replied gently. "But true happiness comes from being authentic to yourself. You have a gift, Clara, and it deserves to be shared." Inspired by Mrs. Thompson's words, Clara made a decision. She would embrace both her love for music and her passion for painting. The next day, she invited her friends and family to a gathering in her garden, where she planned to showcase her artwork and share her music with them. As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the garden, Clara stood before her loved ones, her heart pounding with anticipation. She unveiled her paintings, each one a reflection of her journey, her struggles, and her dreams. The vibrant colors danced in the light, capturing the attention of everyone present. Then, with a deep breath, Clara picked up her guitar. She played a song that blended her love for music with the emotions she had poured into her art. The melody flowed effortlessly, and as she sang, she felt the weight of the watchful eye lift. Her parents watched, their expressions shifting from surprise to admiration. When she finished, the garden erupted in applause. Clara's heart swelled with joy as she saw the smiles on her friends' faces and the pride in her parents' eyes. In that moment, she realized that she didn't have to choose between her passions. She could embrace them both. From that day forward, Clara continued to paint and play music, finding harmony in her dual passions. She organized art and music festivals in the village, bringing people together to celebrate creativity in all its forms. The watchful eye transformed from a source of pressure into a guiding light, encouraging her to explore her true self. Clara learned that it was okay to forge her path, follow her heart, and share her gifts with the world. And as she painted and played, she inspired others to do the same, reminding them that their stories were worth telling, no matter how different they might be. Ivy closed her notebook, her eyes reflecting the warmth of Clara's journey. Clara's story teaches us that it's important to listen to our hearts and embrace our true passions, even when the watchful eye seems to loom over us. We all have the power to create our paths. Laura felt a sense of empowerment wash over her, inspired by Clara's courage to be true to herself. She understood that everyone's journey was unique, and it was okay to explore different paths in search of her voice. Ivy settled comfortably beneath the oak tree, her notebook open on her lap. "Let me share another story from my book," she said, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "It's about a man named Thomas, who lived in this very village many years ago." The story of Thomas. Thomas was a quiet man, known for his gentle demeanor and kind heart. He lived in a small cottage at the edge of the village, surrounded by a garden filled with vibrant flowers and towering sunflowers that seemed to reach for the sky. Though he was well-liked, Thomas often felt the weight of the watchful eye upon him, observing his every move. From a young age, Thomas had a passion for woodworking. He would spend hours in his workshop, crafting beautiful furniture and intricate toys for the village children. His hands were skilled and all admired his creations. Yet, despite his talent, Thomas struggled with self-doubt. He often wondered if he was good enough, if his work truly mattered. One day, as he was shaping a piece of wood into a delicate bird, a young girl named Lily approached his workshop. She was a bright-eyed child with a curious spirit. "What are you making, Mr. Thomas?" she asked, peering through the open door. "I'm making a bird," he replied, holding up the unfinished piece. "But it's not very good. I'm not sure I can make it fly." Lily tilted her head, her expression thoughtful. "But it's beautiful. I can see the bird in it. You need to believe it can fly." Thomas smiled at her innocence but felt a pang of doubt. "Thank you, Lily, but it's not that simple." Days turned into weeks, and Lily continued to visit Thomas, always encouraging him and admiring his work. She would bring him small gifts from her garden, flowers, stones, and even a few shiny pebbles. Each time she would remind him of the beauty in his creations. One afternoon, as Thomas was working on a new project, he overheard a group of villagers talking outside his window. They were discussing a festival that was coming up, where artisans would showcase their work. "I hear Thomas is entering," one villager said. "But will anyone care? He's so quiet and shy." The words stung Thomas deeply. He felt the weight of the watchful eye more than ever, as if it were judging him, doubting his worth. That night he lay awake, wrestling with his thoughts. "What if I'm not good enough?" he whispered to himself. The next day Lily arrived at his workshop, her face beaming with excitement. "Mr. Thomas, you have to enter the festival. Everyone will love your work." "I don't know, Lily," he replied, his voice heavy with uncertainty. "What if they don't like it? What if I fail?" Lily placed her small hand on his arm. "But what if they do? You have to try. You can't let the watchful eye stop you from sharing your gifts." Her words struck a chord within him. That evening Thomas made a decision. He would enter the festival not just for himself, but for Lily and all the children who believed in him. He poured his heart into his work, creating a stunning wooden carousel adorned with intricately carved animals. Each piece was a reflection of his passion and dedication. As the festival approached, Thomas felt a mix of excitement and fear. The watchful eye loomed large, but he reminded himself of Lily's encouragement. On the day of the festival he set up his booth, his heart racing as villagers began to gather. When the festival opened, people marveled at his carousel. Children laughed and pointed, their eyes wide with wonder. Thomas watched as they spun the carousel, their joy infectious. For the first time he felt a sense of pride in his work. As the sun began to set, the village elder approached Thomas. "Your craftsmanship is remarkable," he said, a smile spreading across his face. "You have a gift that brings joy to our community." In that moment the weight of the watchful eye shifted. It was no longer a source of doubt but a reminder of the connections he had forged through his art. Thomas realized that his work mattered not just to him but to everyone around him. After the festival, Thomas continued to create, his confidence growing with each piece he crafted. He became a beloved figure in the village, known not just for his woodworking skills but for the warmth he brought to others. And through it all he never forgot the little girl who had believed in him when he couldn't believe in himself. Ivy closed her notebook, her eyes shining with emotion. Thomas's story reminds us that we all have our struggles, but with encouragement and belief we can overcome our doubts. The watchful eye may observe, but it can also inspire us to rise above. Laura listened intently, feeling the weight of Thomas's journey resonate within her own. She understood that everyone had their battles to face, and sometimes all it took was a little faith to find the courage to share their gifts with the world. In the intricate tapestry of our lives, the expectations of others often weave a complex pattern that can either uplift or constrain us. It is essential to discern which voices resonate with our true selves and which merely echo societal norms. Embracing our passions is not just an act of self-affirmation. It is a declaration of our individuality and a commitment to our journey. Often, the encouragement we receive from those around us can illuminate paths we might not dare to tread alone. Remember, the belief others have in us can serve as a powerful catalyst, revealing strengths and potential we may overlook. In nurturing our passions and recognizing the support that surrounds us, we can cultivate a life that is authentically ours, rich with purpose and fulfillment.
I know you have yet to feel the tender weight of that watchful gaze. But when it finds you, do not fear. It is not a force of judgment, but a gentle call to awaken your inner light. Let its presence remind you that every truth, once shared, becomes a guide, lifting the shadows and connecting us all in a journey of hope. Embrace it, and you will discover that even the most minor witness can reveal the vast beauty of our shared destiny.